How's everybody doing tonight? Yep. Welcome to Wednesday evening with Idaho Joe, your congressional candidate for District 1, state of Idaho. Let's go ahead and get some of the business up and running. Please like, share, donate, comment. You got my donation site there running along the bottom. That helps me get out flyers, do advertising, let people know about me. Let people know about the things that are important to you. That's what this is about. This is about making sure things work for you. Work for you, work for me, work for the rest of Idaho. You have a continuing problem with that right now all across the United States of America. Federal government gets in the way of local states, local communities doing what local communities should be doing on their own. Overregulation, underregulation, human rights violations, all of those fun things. So please like, share, comment, donate. So what's everybody thinking about tonight? We got Wednesday night going on, a local event going on over at Lakeview in Nampa, our People's Rights Movement. They're Area 3 doing a meet and greet tonight. You happen to be over in Nampa, stop in, see what they're about, folks. For those of you who, give me a moment. Thumbprint was causing a little bit of blur. Man, focus on the wrong things. But, so they got that going on over in Nampa tonight, Lakeview. It's potluck, bring, meet and greet. They got some speakers going on. But yeah, that's People's Rights Movement. Zaman Bundy's group. Sort of a mixed bag there, folks. But, you know, you want to go over, find out what it's about, by all means. What else? Breonna Taylor. What's actually on trial here right now? Is it the policeman who shot Breonna Taylor? Or is it the methods that got Breonna Taylor shot? Yes. We're all men. Nobody was indicted over this. Thing is who and what should be indicted. Gross negligence on the part of several individuals involved. The policeman, who one, didn't get the right address. Other individuals, there's no body camera footage from the evening. All they got are ballistics from the night, which is why one of three police officers were actually indicted for reckless endangerment. And it wasn't for actually shooting Breonna Taylor. It was for discharging his firearm in such a way that bullets entered the apartment complex next door. Yeah, so, Kentucky. Good luck tonight, folks. Hoping the protests stay peaceful, but you've seen what's been going on. Prime opportunity for criminals to integrate with the protests that are going on, turn what should be a peaceful riot turn what should be a peaceful protest into a riot. That is well within the possibility of what may happen tonight in Kentucky. Yeah, don't envy you guys. Neither the activists on the street, nor the police responsible for maintaining the peace, or for anybody else who gets caught in the wake of everything that goes down. But what we're actually going to discuss about tonight is the Libertarian platform on no-knock raids. Reason why is because that's ultimately what got Breonna Taylor shot. It was the serving of a no-knock raid. The irony is, the police got a warrant for a no-knock raid. Then the neighbor says that they did knock, and they did identify themselves, which sort of goes against policy for a no-knock raid. Anyway, that's where you're running into the question of the other thing. But ultimately, that in and of itself wouldn't have would not have. It was a no-knock warrant. They would have been exonerated regardless. But what we want to do is we want to end no-knock raids. The reason why is because no-knock raids are unconstitutional. Keep in mind, no-knock raids was one of those hard-on crime bills that was pioneered by none other than Joe Biden, along with his 1994 crime bill, his policeman's bill of rights, yada yada, all of these exceptions we give to people who are supposed to be the defenders of the republic. Give them an opportunity to operate on a different standard than the rest of us. Now we get complaints about the libertarians. Well, libertarians, everybody's going to privatize the police forces. Well, the ironic thing is a privatized police force still does not have qualified immunity. They make a mistake in the process as a security guard, as a private security force, any of those things, they are held liable. Unless we do something stupid like grant them qualified immunity specifically for their job, such as what we did with Erik Prince's Blackwater in Iraq. We gave them exemptions to crimes against humanity because they were paid for by the United States government and or local Iraqi government officials. Yeah. No. Nowhere in the libertarian platform does it say privatized security forces get qualified immunity. Matter of fact, we're currently in the process of trying to make sure that public unions and police officers that are hired through the public unions and through those other organizations don't get the benefit of qualified immunity. Why? Because then they shoot people indiscriminately and then claim, I didn't know, which we've seen happen more than often enough. We run into here. Matter of fact, Melissa Davlin, one of my local favorites as far as news goes, brought up the issue today while discussing what was going on. Go ahead and pull up her tweet here. Because this was a timely related issue. I want Louisville, I want Davlin. Why does my autocorrect hate me? Okay, so Melissa Davlin news. This was her tweet today. May have to dig through a few things. Listening to Attorney General Cameron and thinking of a similar conversation we had with Attorney General Wasden concerning Jack Yantis. The bar for indicting officers is incredibly high, and criminal law doesn't always have mechanisms to respond to every tragedy, he told us. Okay, now for those of you who aren't familiar with the Idaho situation surrounding Jack Yantis, this was a rural community that we were discussing at the time. Jack Yantis was summoned to the site of an accident. Why? Because it was his bull a driver had hit. Now, Jack Yantis isn't exactly the most mellow of personalities in any particular situation, and of course he showed up with a rifle in which to dispatch his bull because his bull was, beyond saving. 2 police officers were present at the site of the accident. They were doing a crime scene investigation. Jack Yantis, who had been called to actually deal with a bull who has now been hit and is making a bit of a scene. Starts getting a little cantankerous. One of the officers took it upon himself to shoot Jack in self-defense. Well, Jack did have a gun in his hand. Had a rifle, I believe. But that's one of our situations we got here. We literally had rural police officers. I mean, these were county sheriffs, county law enforcement out dealing with the crime scene involving a farmer and his bull. You know, Jack's not exactly unknown in the area. So, literally, these are the situations these police officers should have been trained for. These deputies should have been trained for. And one of them reacted badly and shot Jack. Dead. Officers were not indicted. However, the Yantis family did get a wrong, were well rewarded in as much as you can be for the death of a family member by the state for a wrongful death suit. Same situation. They've already settled for Breonna Taylor and her family. Same thing. Improper training. Weren't paying attention to what they were doing. No-knock warrants. Qualified immunity. These two things need to go away. It doesn't matter whether you're Republican, Democrat. These things only serve one purpose, and that is to make sure that police officers who are poorly trained, poorly prepared, or in some cases, willfully negligent in their duty, to effectively commit murder or negligent homicide and get away with it and keep their jobs. Give me a moment. Okay. We're back, folks. So, now I've covered the Breonna Taylor and the issues with defund the police. This isn't necessarily a defund the police issue. This is a police reform issue. And of course, you can't reform police without reforming the judiciary. Mainly, you cannot fix police problems because that fix is only temporary. You actually need to fix the problems that allow the police to get out of hand. One of these is the victimless crimes. Talked about it before. Medical marijuana. We continue to see veterans get in trouble with medical marijuana because they're not paying attention to the dosage, how much they purchase, number of other things. Here in the state of Idaho, I happen to know several who regularly use medical marijuana. They actually got to drive across state lines in order to get their supply. Reason why is because medical marijuana actually works for them. It helps with their post-traumatic stress injury. It helps with their pain management. It helps with so many things. And literally, they are committing felonies, driving across state lines to pick it up in Ontario or Spokane, or even if they're on the other side over in Missoula. You know, it's a felony for them to go and get that and turn around and cross back across state lines with it. It's a federal felony, no less. You know, so literally they can get picked up and hauled and, you know, federal crime. Boom. Yep. Okay. Interesting discussion on Facebook. We'll get back to that some other time. Come on, talk to me. Where are you guys watching from? Y'all vanished again. Bummer. What is it about Wednesday? Why is nobody watching on Wednesday? I love you guys. Come on. Give me a little time. Give me like 25 minutes notice I was going to be showing up. Okay, other issues we got going on. We got no less than four demonstrations happening downtown on Saturday. I don't know how downtown's going to fit 4 demonstrations in, but they're going to try. They are going to try. Okay, we got Black Lives Matter. Of course, they're 1 hour, noon to 1, every day, and literally every day, along State Street, along that 2 block right behind the Capitol building. This is noon to 1. Now, the interesting thing is Liberty Dogs. Yeah, I'm going to bust you out again on this. Liberty Dogs have decided that they want to do a Trump demonstration along that exact same stretch from 1 to 3. So literally, as Black Lives Matter people, and they're not Black Lives Matter, these are neighborhood people. This is local activists, local random activists. They're not even associated with a group. No street level activists are associated with, street level organizations in the state of Idaho. This is 2 neighbors got together and started putting up signs, and it's just collected a gathering. Noon to 1 every day. Now Liberty Dogs want to go in from 1 to 3 on Saturday, go wave Trump flags along that exact same stretch. And they want to be able to occupy that stretch just as our community activists are getting ready to pick up and remove their stuff. Yeah, whatever. Now, we also have a Ruth Bader Ginsburg vigil rally event, whatever you want to call it. It's happening at 3 on the Capitol steps. There's another one somewhere in there. Anyway, point is, Boise's a capital city. Gets an awful lot of that, especially when an awful lot of people are out of work. You got nothing better to do than go down and wave flags and hold signs and do things like that, especially on a Saturday. Point is most of these are peaceful, folks. Hell, all of them are peaceful. All of them are supposed to be peaceful. We haven't had agitators in any of the BLM rallies that were associated with our local BLM activists. Had a few agitators show up that weren't in the loop with our local activists who tried to agitate stuff. I don't count them. Squirrel. Come on. What else we got going, folks? Talk to me. What do you want to know about? What's everybody doing today? We got good news, bad news. So Sunday. Go ahead and cover it. Sunday. I got an interview with one of our local podcasters, Rhodes. And take a look at what he's got going on. He does a Sunday evening thing, starts around 6 o'clock. You can go in and talk about some things. Fairly new podcast. I'm not sure exactly what his producers got involved with him. But musician. Yep. I'm impressed. He's actually letting me in. I support Joe Jorgensen. He's a strong supporter of Trump. He's still going to let me get on. He's still going to let me push my candidacy, push my platform. Talk about real issues. Talk about issues in Idaho. Yeah, so how you doing out there in Twitch land, huh? What's going on out there? Who we got? Hmm. Anyway, Twitch. Who's watching me in Twitch, man? Come on, talk to me. Okay, let's go ahead and talk the issue of the SCOTUS. So right now, the Senate wants to make it happen because it's a Republican-owned Senate. Senate's the one who's going to do the appointing. Do we expect the same shenanigans that we had with Kavanaugh? Damn straight, we can expect the exact same shenanigans we had with Kavanaugh. I don't think the Democrats are going to be able to avoid it. Now, that said, Trump's already said he's going to appoint a woman to replace Ruth. Of course, we've all seen that Kamala Harris is very much a big proponent of the Joe Biden 1994 crime bill. We've also seen that there's a lot of people that could fall on the Democratic side that are still pro-Patriot Act, still pro-crime bill, still pro-human rights violations, still pro... Matter of fact, I think it was a SCOTUS decision that actually granted this weird clause of, the qualified immunity. SCOTUS created this idea of qualified immunity. And it's not just for police, it's for judges and a number of other individuals, that could or should be held responsible for gross negligence in management of cases, etc. To the point right now where we even have problems with witnesses in an awful lot of cases. I talked yesterday about a lot of our accounts getting locked out, activist accounts for protesting against organizations like Child Protective Services, despite the fact that there are long documented histories of Child Protective Services, family services, caseworkers deliberately and intentionally misrepresenting and in some cases blatantly lying about what they've done on behalf of clients, so on. Matter of fact, one of my friends today, Sarah Frank, she's a big activist, especially when it comes to Child Protective Services. Now, this is Washington. This is Kitsap County. Kitsap County is one of those places. It's Washington. Medical marijuana. It's legal, right? Absolutely, 100% legal. Except for the fact it's still a federal crime because it's still Schedule 1. Yet, Washington County Child Protective Services is involved in trying to adopt out the children of a young woman who has been using medical marijuana for her medical condition. State's very aware that she's using it medicinally, yet they are still using her use of marijuana to justify adopting her children out. Not even placing with foster care. They actually want to take the children and adopt them out to another family. She's busy going through some casework right now. But these are issues that continue to be a problem with regards to victimless crimes. And she wasn't hurting the children through her use of her medical marijuana. Why take her children? Because she used the medical marijuana. Anyway, yeah, so there's a lot of bogus BS that continues to go on, continues to affect people across the United States because of Nixon's war on drugs. Okay, let's go ahead and talk another issue. Nixon. Nixon created the war on drugs. Why did he create the war on drugs? Because drugs are easily planted. They're easily manufactured evidence. They are easily used to entrap individuals. The allegations that these individuals were causing felonies, manipulating people, or abusing people through drugs was an easy sell to the United States public at the time. Why did he need to be able to create a victimless crime against the state so that he could easily make people into criminals? Well, that's because at the time, there were a lot of protests going on about Nixon's involvement in Vietnam. Straight up. Nixon had us, neck deep in everything that was going on in Vietnam. There were an awful lot of social movements going around. They spun up counterintelligence, COINTELPRO, in order to go in and take out a lot of these communities. Now, a lot of these communities that they took out were organizations like the Black Panthers, the Young Lords, the Young Patriots, which, dude, some of you guys really need to get back into your history, because some of the stuff that's going on in America right now, the things you call yourselves and the things you rail against and other issues, the way you've decided to go back and reimagine history just continues to amaze me. Thing is, Black Panthers, Young Patriots, Young Lords, all of these were young American men coming back from Vietnam. And they started these movements. Reason why is because a lot of them, the Young Patriots, a lot of them were Appalachia boys. These were young men that got drafted into the war, got sent to Vietnam, came back, and rather than going back to Appalachia, they went looking for jobs in the cities. It's the reason why the Chicago Rainbow Coalition was created back in '69. Dude, Rainbow Coalition, '69. Young Patriots, Appalachia boys coming straight back from Vietnam War, Vietnam veterans, card-carrying socialists, unionizers, activists, inner-city community organizers. 1969. Helped created programs like free school lunch, free lunch programs for school children. That's where that originated. Free lunch that, school administrators will now kick you out of if you didn't file the right paperwork or didn't make the right payments on time. School lunch programs, free lunch programs, those were started by card-carrying socialists. Those were started by the Black Panthers, the Young Lords, and the Young Patriots. Why? Because these were communities that couldn't feed their children on their own because they were working class poor. And when you talk about libertarian socialists, when you talk about anarcho-socialists, these were the community organizers that pioneered that. The reason why is because they weren't making it happen via the community. They weren't dependent upon government. The Black Panthers didn't go to, Oakland City and say, hey, you're going to give our kids free lunches. No. They went to the community, they collected the money, they collected the food, and they set up a free lunch program for the kids in Oakland, and then in Chicago, and then in Atlanta. This wasn't state-mandated socialism, folks. I don't care what you think it was. This was community activism. This was people helping people. This was neighbors helping neighbors, which is what the Libertarian Platform is about, folks. It's neighbors helping neighbors. So on that note, 30 minutes. Thanks for visiting me out there in Twitch land. Meantime, I did my 30. Wednesday apparently isn't a good night for this. But for those of you who come back and watch this later, thank you again for your time. Please make your comments, like, share, contribute to my campaign. In the meantime, family, friends, community, that in a little organization, get you free lunch. You guys have a good one. Oh, who just joined? You make a comment, I might stick around a little bit longer. What do you want me to talk about? Anything? Anybody? Who's watching with me? Okay. I'll go ahead. Peace out. Let you go back and review it. Again, like, share, comment. Family, friends, community. That and a little organization will get you a free lunch. Catch you guys later. Have a good one.